Hello critters, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to do another challenge. Well, it's the same challenge that I did before that I thought was pretty fun, or I went on to Gacha Life, which y'all know, of course, and I made a really cursed randomized character because it makes really cursed characters, of course, when you hit the randomize button. And I drew them. And I had a lot of fun last time. Oh, did you hear my voice crack? What the fuck? Anyways, yeah, I want to do that again. It was really fun last time, so I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna see what happens there. So, let's get into it. Okay, so here we have our gacha life. As you know, I feel like gacha life has been in the generation right below me. I'm kind of an old man when it comes to things, but I just find it funny. How the fuck do I get— oh, here it is, here it is. Okay, so I'm gonna hit randomize all. So 3, 2, 1. Oh! Wait, it's actually pretty fun. Okay. And we're gonna randomize the colors, so 3, 2, 1. Oh! Okay, what the hell is that little— what is that little thing that she's holding? The fuck? Okay, she has a spoon, and she has a sword. Oh, fuck! Okay, it's fine. It's fine, we're going with it. We're over it. And I guess we're gonna go on to the drawing then. Okay, so let's get into it. So first of all, I make my little blob sketch as I usually do when I sketch more dynamic poses. So I make a little blob on a layer. And then I think I was just waiting a second trying to figure out what the fuck to do. So yeah, I was trying to stare at the design, I think. And so then I go in and make the first messy sketch. And what I really wanted to focus on was the kind of flowy hair. I always love drawing really kind of cool hair like that, kind of flowing around. It's like my favorite thing to draw. And of course, I wanted to draw a more dynamic pose for some reason, because I was feeling batshit, I guess, and very normal. So I have like some foreshortening going on in the arm with the sword, and kind of like a top-down perspective a little. And here I'm going on to the clean sketch. I was trying to keep it a little more clean because I really didn't want to do a second clean sketch like I sometimes do before my line art. I was kind of just trying to do one sketch and be done after my little thumbnail type sketch. So yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. And I was just trying to move the body around there a little bit, trying to kind of follow a line of action more, to give it a little more of a dynamic pose, of course. And here's me struggling with the fucking arm for like a hot minute. Foreshortening is hard. Foreshortening is very hard. I was like, how the fuck do I even draw someone holding a sword? And you kind of, when you draw someone holding a sword, you gotta kind of think of them like with their knuckles kind of around it. There's kind of a way to like do it a little like, I don't know, bending the fingers. And there I was just picking out the color palette, which is a not-so color palette. I get into that a little more later. And there I was using Liquify a little bit to fix the arm, and growing the canvas to make the resolution a little better. And it looks like it's time for line art then, which is always so fun. I'm kidding. I struggle with line art. It's difficult. My attention span is not— it's not kind to my attention span, but it's fun sometimes. I like to kind of add my own little flares to it, of adding line weight to the outsides of things and adding line weight to, you know, whatever, to make it look a little more dynamic, as I've said. So yeah, there I'm just kind of lining the hair, and of course, again, I fucking love drawing hair, so I had a lot of fun with the curls. I really like this hairstyle, actually. I was really glad to have a hairstyle like this, because I fucking love drawing fluffy hair like that. It's fun, and kind of making it fly out like she's in the middle of movement, I think, was part of what I was trying to do. And there I was just doing some touching up, and going around the outside a little bit to add a little more— fuck! Sorry for the stuttering. To add a little more line weight, and kind of go around with that to make it a little more cohesive. And there I'm going along to start lining the rest of the body. And I was kind of looking at the clothes a little more because they're a little confusing, so I was kind of trying to figure out how exactly I was going to go about it. Yeah, there I'm doing the other arm. As you can see, I'm doing kind of like foreshortening backwards on the other arm as it's kind of a top-down view, kind of going down with the arm. So that's what I was trying to do there with like the little bits of the folds of the arms. And drawing the skirt, of course. I love drawing skirts. It's fun. Drawing ruffles and shit is... it's always been a fun thing because it's just such a fun kind of organic shape. Especially when there's movement involved to make it, again, you can kind of like cheat a dynamic pose into that. Sorry. And then I'm lining the eye. I usually use a heavier line weight for that. It looks like I took a second there trying to figure something out and adding little flowers to the hair. Wasn't sure what kind of flower it was, so I kind of just did like a... Is that like a fucking chrysanthemum? I don't remember. Anyways, I kind of just went with that. And it's time to line the accursed foreshortened arm, of course. And when it comes to things that are foreshortened and things that are closer to the foreground, I tend to use a heavier line weight to kind of make it stand out a little more. I feel like it's probably not a hot take, a lot of people probably do that, but that's just something that I kind of do to make it kind of pop a little more, especially when I'm trying to foreshorten, because foreshortening is fucking hard. And so I have that over there, and of course also with foreshortening I try to make sure there's no like tangent lines, and there's one a little bit with the sleeve, that's kind of annoying, but I kind of went a little bit past it with the pinky finger to try and get rid of that tangent line. And there I'm drawing the pom-pom. I don't know how the fuck to draw pom-poms, so I was just kind of winging it. I was kind of trying to think about like the little layers of fabric, I guess. And I was trying to think about like the foreshortening and the perspective on it, so I eventually ended up kind of putting her arm like in the middle of it, but I'm not exactly sure how someone holds a pom-pom anyways, I guess. You kind of just like, there's like usually like a little bar in the middle, right, I think? I don't fucking know. I've never done that before. So yeah, there's me trying to kind of figure it out for a minute. I was struggling a little bit. And there's the kind of foreshortening that I did with that. To kind of force more of a perspective and kind of going around the whole mess of lines there with a heavier line weight to make it stand out and not look as chaotic, because it looks very chaotic. I mean, it's just a chaotic object in general, so yeah, that was a bit of a struggle. And there I didn't want to work on the fucking sword, so I just went around and wanted to touch up the line art a little more, because I was like, no fucking way I'm gonna work on this goddamn sword. I hate drawing swords. I don't know what my issue is. I think it's just drawing like inorganic shapes is kind of difficult for me, and I don't have much fun when it comes to drawing like weaponry. I don't know. I try my best though, so that's what I'm doing there. And I wanted to get like a little movement in it and kind of make it not like exactly straight, because she is moving and there's some of that forced perspective there, so I was kind of making it a little curved. And I hope that kind of came across. I was having issue trying to make it like cohesive and look normal, because she's kind of pointing to the side, and at first I was kind of drawing it flaring out like it was pointing towards the front, but that didn't make any sense with the perspective that I was doing, so I kind of had to stop and redo it a little bit there. And then I added a few extra little lines just to make it look like it was moving a little bit, and I'm going to render that a little more later on in the piece. So there's that. Alright, liner's just about done. I had to quickly add the fucking spoon kind of just attached to her hip. I don't know what the fuck that's for, I just needed to add it in. It's okay though. Anyways. Yeah, so liner's just about done. I'm gonna go into the coloring now. And so what I do is I select everything but the like everything outside of the liner and reverse it to fill in the skin color, and then I went in and fixed a little few things. And here I just go in and I take the color palette and kind of fix it. I promise it's not cheating. I think it is cheating a little bit, but not really. I just wanted to go in and make some of the similar colors a little more similar, so it wasn't so, like, insane. I wanted to, like, you know, I made, like, the pink and the red closer to each other, and the green and the blue closer to each other, and the yellow and the orange closer to each other to kind of make it so that there was, like, 3 unified colors in the color scheme, and I hope that kind of came across. Yeah, and here I'm just going in and filling in all the flat colors. And I just use a fill bucket for the flat colors. I have the tolerance turned up a little bit and have the the fuck is it called? Area scaling turned up a bit so that it won't have the little fuzzy edges. And then usually I just go in and kind of fill in any area that I notice right away is not exactly filled in with the pen tool. And that's how I do my flat coloring. Yeah, and here's trying to do little marks on her face, but it was kind of difficult because they're kind of like having like yellow and pink against the skin color. It's kind of difficult to make stand out, so I was having a little bit of difficulty there. And it's time to go into the shading. I love shading skin, as I've said before. It's fun making it look nice and like warm, I guess, with different warm tones. I always have fun with that, so I was going in with that. Yeah, then alpha locking the layer and making it a little darker and lighter in some parts, and adding a multiply layer in there. Alright. Yeah, then I added a multiply layer above the pom-pom because I didn't want to go in and do every little shading with each little piece on its own because I was feeling a little lazy. So, there's that. Alright, then I was shading the sword and the spoon a little bit, but I wanted to make the sword look a little glowy later on in rendering, so I kind of started doing that here to kind of make it stand out, so I didn't want to shade it too much if it's like a light source. And then just shading the whites a little bit. And the flower with some blues. Yeah, I tended to kind of make it with cooler shading in this piece, except for like the skirt, because it's kind of, I try to make cooler shading a little bit with the skirt because I wanted to kind of make a contrast between the warm lighting of the sword along with the rest of the shading, so that's kind of what I was trying to go for there. And here's me shading the hair. I love shading hair as well, but also it gets a little tedious sometimes with a lot of little pieces as I like to draw. I sometimes go a little crazy when it comes to the line art on the hair and make way too many little pieces to kind of bite me in the ass later on when I'm trying to shade and color. But like, it's fine. It usually ends up fine when I go in and kind of blend it and fix it at the end. And there's just me blending some of the stuff in the hair. And I added a few highlights in a second. Yeah, there's the highlights. And I usually don't add that bright of highlights, so I darken them a little bit. But, of course, there's a light source in this piece, so I kind of kept it. And then almost to the end of shading the shirt real quick. I wasn't exactly sure how to shade the back of her arm. I didn't want to make the shading too dark since it's such a light color, but at the same time having that heightened contrast is always good when it comes to light fabrics, I guess, and kind of just like making it stand out, I think. I don't know. And there I was just shading the eye and the stockings. So there. That's basically the shading. So I went in and did a color balance layer real quick. And I wanted to add the light source of the sword, so I went in and added a multiply layer, started to erase the edges to add some lighting, like some dramatic lighting from the multiply layer. So that's what I'm doing right there. And then I added a glow layer in order to add that pink lighting from the sword. And here's me just going in. I was going a little crazy with some particle effects around the sword, because I kind of wanted to make it look like it was like, it kind of looks like a fucking lightsaber or some shit, or some kind of sword that's made out of, like, not steel. So I was kind of trying to go for that. With me adding in, like, a shitty little background. I just wanted to add some, like, quick figures in the back with a blur. And just a little more movement. Some more glowies to try and fill in the negative space, because I had a lot of fucking negative space in there that was stressing me out. And just a little bit more touch-ups. Added a tone curve layer to kind of make it all together. I added a gradient map, but ended up getting rid of it. And yeah, there we go. Alright, so there we have our final piece. I think it turned out pretty fun. I had a lot of fun with this. Maybe I'll do it again in the future. If you have any suggestions for future art challenges or other things that I should talk about or anything, leave them in the comments. Make sure to subscribe. My goal is to hit 10K before the new year, which is kind of a huge goal, but I kind of want to get there. I'm having a lot of fun with this channel so far, and I'm really grateful for all the support. So if you liked the video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, share it with your friends, maybe even so. It'll be very nice. Yeah, I'll see you all in the next video, so have a great rest of your day, critters, and bye.